Michael Smith, world champion. How does that sound?
Sounds amazing. It's what worked all my career for. I'm finally to get it now. Yeah, it just feels good.
Has it started to sink in yet what you achieved last night?
No, not yet. I think the only time it'll settle in is when John McDonald introduced me to the stage.
Have you watched any of it back yet?
Yeah, last night I put YouTube, put in my name, it came up with the highlights from the full final. But I think I watched that 9 data about 1,000,000 times because Mardle's commentary just made that 9 even more special.
Did you manage to get any sleep last night?
Nope. I got to bed, about 1:30, something like that. And I just lay 7 hours just looking at the trophy in the cabinet. And yeah, and then I think it was about 6:30 I thought, I'm really tired now, I should go to sleep. But if I would have gone to sleep, there was no way I was doing these interviews. I wanted to walk up, so I just powered through it and I'll sleep on the way home in the car.
The winning moment, I was lucky enough to be by the side of the stage, and it was really spine-tingling the way you obviously ran over to your family. That'll live with you forever, won't it?
Yeah, it reminded me of when I made my first world final, when I beat Nathan Aspinall and I ran straight to the kids there. But I said in one of the interviews, when I win, we all win. And it's not just me, the kids won and my wife won as well. It's the trophies, man, everything else, all the success, everything that comes with it is theirs.
Word on the crowd last night as well, they really got behind you and it felt like everyone in there was really happy for you. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I think from even last year when I played Peter Wright, I think that's where it stemmed from. Every venue I went in, it was all cheering my name, singing my name, and it has been weird. But that final, they were singing my song as I walked out, and I thought they'll change in a minute. But when John started introducing Michael and he booed him, I think they might be on my side here, and he was all the way through. And give him the due though, they swung back and forth, they were singing Michael's name as well, and he gave us the best of the order all the way through. And it was just amazing the way they all reacted with the 9, and especially when I won the match.
To win any world championship is the pinnacle of a career, but to do it in the way you did against an all-time great in a classic final, does that make it even better?
Yeah, I think so. That was my first Worlds. Finally got to world #1, the perfect leg, and yeah, especially against Michael for a bit of revenge from 2019. He beat me 7-3, and I finally got over that.
As you mentioned there, the 9 data, the best leg ever seen. What's it like to be in that moment mentally? What are you thinking?
When he missed double 12 and I just gave him the live 5, I was like, now if you can hit this, he'll know you in this game. He'll know you're here to play and you're here to win. And when he went in, I wanted to give it the big one. I wanted to give it large, but I thought, no, just you've got to calm down because it's only a leg. Get the set 1 first and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, and then it did go to plan. I meant to win the set, but I had goosebumps and I was shaking a bit. My heart was pounding. But luckily enough, when I hit the 140 the next leg, after the 9, everything just settled back down for me then.
Did it feel like you were part of history in that moment, or I guess you don't want to allow yourself to think too much about it?
When it went in, I knew something special was happening. I think there's only Adrian Lewis ever hit a 9 in the final, I think. So to be the second person to do it and the greatest leg you're going to see, you knew it was happening, you knew something special, and it wouldn't have felt as good if I wasn't doing these interviews today, if I was another runner-up, if I was 3 times runners-up. So having won it, and the way I won it, and the way I handled myself, it's made it all more special.
To hit the 9 data early in the game, we've seen many times players hit 9 datas and go on to lose the match. So to recompose yourself and then win those 4 successive sets, which really got you control of the match, was that sort of a mental reset after the 9 data and all the excitement?
Yeah, we go back again to last year when Geraint Price did a 9 number. I think that was like in the 5th set, but then my next 2 legs I went 12 and 11 to win the set, and kind of took control of that game as well. And I did the same with Michael. Got that. I think that was to go 2-1 up, but then I went 3-2 down, I think. And then from there, then I started to find he was missing, and I was taking my chances when I had to, and just tops was flying in all the time, and I was like, this is perfect now. Everything's going right for me now.
And when you won those 4 successive sets, Michael seemed to fade. Did you sense that you'd broken him?
Yeah. I think when he hit the 180 and I checked out at 130 on double 5, I knew it was happening. And the only problem with me was though, it's because I knew it was happening, I was still allowing him back in the leg. I couldn't kill him off, I couldn't go in a lot harder. I couldn't bang in the 180s even more, but just luckily enough I didn't let him get too close, because if it would have gone 6-5, his throw to make it 6-all, I've never been in a 6-all game in the World Championship final, so I just didn't want to go that far. So when I checked was it the 106 out to make it 2-1 in the final set, and Michael just went again. He didn't play like Michael can, and it was up to me to take my shots.
When it got to 6-4, was there any negative thoughts coming in your head, sort of worrying about Michael coming on the charge?
No, the only time I thought differently was when it was 3-all. As soon as I got that fourth set, it put to bed 2019, because I lost 7-3. I thought I got 4 sets now. And then when I was 5-3 up, when I got the 6, I was thinking about last year when I lost 7-5 to Peter. So then once I was 6, it was just win the set. You haven't done it yet, but you've got 2 chances, but you don't throw. Even I couldn't mess that up. As I was just trying to tell myself, even I can't mess it up. And luckily enough, I just stayed true and just kept following through my throw and just kept myself focused, and everything went in.
If you hadn't won the Grand Slam in November, do you think you would have achieved what you did last night?
I can't say yes and I can't say no, because you don't know what happened, but winning the Grand Slam massively helped, because when I checked the 56 out to win that one against Nathan, it was for a start straight away, and then when I was in the final against Michael last night, throwing at tops, it was going in. The 74s, the 68s, the 106, everything just felt nice. And I think winning that Grand Slam did give me belief, knowing I can hit shots under pressure.
And all the heartache you've had over the last few years, well documented, all the finals you've lost, does that make this moment even sweeter?
I don't know, because I could be doing this chat now and have the same amount of world titles as Michael. I could be on 3, but you've got to lose. You can't learn just by winning everything. You've got to have heartbreak, and every setback is just another story for a great comeback. So I don't regret anything I've done, any losses that I've lost, or where I could have thrown games away where I thought I could have won. It's just meant this means more sweeter now for me.
And of those setbacks, what would you say was the lowest point? Was there ever a moment when you started to doubt that this sort of thing would ever be achievable?
The Peter game in the Worlds. I said to John McDonald, I'm never going to win it. That's when I just burst out and crying, you seen it. And then the UK Open against Danny Nopper, flying, 3-0 up. Thought I'd just keep playing this, you win the match. Yeah, and then I dropped down to like an 84 average, and I couldn't find a thing. I had 1 dart at the bull for the 1-2-4. And I just thought, you just meant to keep losing. But then, literally the day I obviously went to sleep, the day after I just put even more work in. And then you seen at the Europeans, I didn't do anything wrong against Ross Smith in the final. He just hit everything. And then a couple of days later, I go on to win the Grand Slam. It's just, I don't know how I can say I put it right or done something. I just kept fighting and keep battling, and just showing perseverance does win.
Do you see any parallels between your win and Peter Wright's first world title win? Similar story, quite a lot of runner-up trophies, but finally getting your hands on the big one.
Yeah, I think he lost his first 11, didn't he, or something like that, so as long as I didn't beat that. Yeah, Peter did well, especially when, I think, was it the Premier League? I think he did something similar to my last leg last night. He left 32 after 9 against Michael, and then he missed 6 darts at 32. Michael ended up winning that, but then, yeah, he comes back and wins the World Championships then.
And the £500,000 winner's prize, it's the biggest in the sport. What does that mean? What would that mean for your family?
I mean, everything. It just means we can start rushing through the process of building the new house. We've had it in idea with the barn. We were going to knock down and rebuild it, but it was always a longer term project. Now we could speed it up if I wanted to, but I don't think the HMRC will let me, because everyone's got to pay the taxes. But yeah, it does help massively. It just takes that weight off your shoulders, no more worries.
And also, world #1. Has that been on your radar for a while?
It's every kid's dream, not even in darts, any sport you're playing. You want to be the best player in the world. You want to be world #1. You want to be world champion. And I got to do both last night. So that 12-year-old kid dreaming finally come true.
Looking ahead to this year, you are now world champion, world #1. You are the flag bearer of the sport, and you're going to be travelling all over the world. Very exciting times coming up.
Yeah, but you also put a massive target on your back. Everyone wants to beat me now, and I've just got to learn to deal with it. I'm not going to lie, I've never felt this before. I don't know my first game in Bahrain when I go there in what, 5 or 6 days. I don't know how I'm going to feel. I've never played as a world champion before. Yes, I've won the Youth Worlds, but that was my last ever game in the youth when I won it, so I never got to experience it. Now, I don't know how I'm going to feel, but I'm going to try my best, and like I've always done for the PDC, I work really hard. I do anything I'm asked, and hopefully I can keep doing the job.
And long term, have you got ambitions to dominate the sport?
Obviously everyone wants to win. I want to get as many titles as I can. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm never going to lose a game. We all got to lose, but I just want more of them. I don't want to finish on just one. I want to get 2, and if I get 2, then I want to get 3. But I just want to be a multiple champion. And finally, I've got 2 TV titles in the PDC. Well, I want more than 2 of these.
And finally, I bet you can't wait to take that trophy to St Helens Rugby League Club.
Yeah, I just want to stand on the halfway line with a big V behind us, some pictures, and yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few tears shed there as well.
Congratulations, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.